Welcome viewers. In this lecture, while discussing about organizational design, choosing the right structural form, today I will be discussing about designing organizational structure with specific focus on specialization and coordination. Here the highlights would be why most organizations initially have a functional structure and over a period of time they change towards a complex structure. What is the reason behind the changing form of organizational structure? Then we will also discuss between three different kinds of divisional structure, that is product type, geographic departmentalization and divisions based on the market structure. Distinguish between three kinds of divisional structure, that is product, geographic and market. We will also discuss about how metrics and product team structures differ and why and when they are chosen to coordinate organizational activities. Identify the unique properties of network type of structures and the conditions under which they are most likely to be chosen. To begin with, understanding the functional structure. A functional structure is a design that groups people on the basis of their skill sets, the common skill sets they have, their expertise and resources they use. The group of people who are working in a functional structure, they have the similar kinds of skill sets, their competencies and they are experts in the same domain. Functional structure is the bedrock of horizontal differentiation. It is the main reason behind the horizontal differentiation. An organization groups various tasks and activities into functions to increase the effectiveness with which it achieves its goals. So, functional structure, research and development, sales and marketing, manufacturing, materials management, finance, logistics and so on. The CEO oversees all the departments. Employees working in research and development, sales and marketing, manufacturing, materials management, finance, they all report to the CEO. In a functional form of organizational structure, the format shows the positions of each functions within the organizational hierarchy with all the people working in different departments directly reporting to the chief executive officer. Functional structures has several advantages, like it provides people with opportunity to learn from one another and become more specialized and productive. People who are grouped together by common skill sets can supervise one another and control each other's behavior. They develop norms, values that helps them to become more effective what they act on. And there are certain problems associated in a functional structure. These are control problems like communication issues, measurement problems, location problems. So, let us understand each of them in more details. Communication problems, as more organizational functions develop, each with their own hierarchy, uh, they become increasingly distant from one another. Similarly, the measurement problem lies with information needed to measure the profitability of any functional group is difficult to obtain. The location problems are an organization must balance the need for centralized decision making, need to decentralize regional operations. There are some more problems associated with the functional structure, like customer problems. Ability to identify and satisfy the customer needs may fall short and the sales are almost lost. The strategic issues here are the top managers spend too much time finding ways to improve the coordination. They can bring employees working in different departments together. They have no time to address the long term issues. So, how to resolve the control problem? The managers can solve the control problems by redesigning the functional structure, increase coordination, integration between various functions. As they have started operating in silos, so the manager need to bring them together in order to achieve the common objectives. So, improving integration as a functional structure by combining the sales and marketing. Earlier, the sales division, because of the common skill sets of employees, were working in one department, the marketing department. So, how we can help in creating an integration by merging both the or integrating the sales and marketing together. From functional structure, how we are moving towards a divisional structure. Functional structure is appropriate if the organization is limiting itself to producing a small number of similar products, that produces those products in one or few locations, sells them to only general type of clients or customers. As organization grows, they produce more products and serve many different types of customers. A new structure is needed that will increase managers' control of individual subunits, integrate the operations of the whole company, and ensure subunits are meeting organizational goals. What is differentiation and integration? This complex structure is based on increasing horizontal differentiation. The difference in the horizontal boundary or horizontal differentiation is more, and there is more focus on increasing integration. Like differentiation and integration, how organizations can increase control over their activities through vertical differentiation and horizontal differentiation. Vertical differentiation basically is creating a hierarchy of authority to improve the coordination vertically between the subunits, and horizontal differentiation is creating separate subunits to increase control within the subunits. And differentiation and integration, like in case of integration, creating integrating mechanisms like task force. What is an integrating mechanism? Like you have a committee, a task force, laterally you can help in improving coordination between subunits. Various subunits can work together like a cross functional team, where they can work together to have more discussion on the problems, whether it is related to improving the product quality or address to the customers problems, or solving the customer related issues, or coming up with a new product. Moving to a divisional structure, organizations most commonly adopt the divisional structure control problems that arise with too many products, too many regions to focus, and so many different clients to address to. So, as a result, the type of divisional structure depends on the problems which need to be solved. Divisional structure creates smaller and manageable subunits and takes the form of a product structure, a geographic structure, or a market structure. What is product structure? Product structure is a divisional structure in which products like goods and services are grouped together into separate divisions according to their similarities or differences. Like for example, in a bank you have different products, like there is a mutual fund division, ATM, credit card, or you have credit card division is there, then there are home loans. These are all various different types of products. They are grouped into separate divisions. There are managers who are dealing with a unique kind of a product, so that they can explain the unique features of the products, how they are serving the customers, and how their services or products are different from the other banks. Similarly, there are various organizations which have product type of structure. Organizations need to decide how to coordinate its product activities with support functions. As the organization grows, they produce more products and serve many different types of customers. A new structure is needed that will increase managers' control of individual subunits, integrate the operation of whole company, and ensure subunits are meeting organizational goals. So, product type of structure will have a chief executive officer. There is a vice president of sales and marketing. There is a vice president research and development, vice president of materials management, and vice president of finance, who is directly reporting to the chief executive officer. Then there are also product like canned soup division. In product division structure, CEO is directly also supervising the divisions, where one particular division is catering to a unique need, like say canned soups division, you have frozen vegetables, you have baked food, frozen food, and so on. Assignments of product oriented functional teams to individual divisions. There is a research and development cell which has different types of teams, like team 1 is which is only looking at how to improvise the product like soups. Then you have team 2 which will be only focused on taking care of the frozen vegetables division. Then the third one, say for example, which takes care of confectionery, or which takes care of the baked goods and so on. So, there are different types of functional teams which will cater to improvising the products. So, assignment of product oriented functional teams, their responsibility is to take care of making their product more effective. So, product structure, multi-divisional structures, structure in which support functions are placed in dependent self-contained divisions with its own set of support functions. Corporate headquarters staff is responsible for overseeing the activities of managers who is heading each division. It allows a company to operate in many different businesses. Multi-divisional structure will have a CEO who has reporting officer like corporate headquarters staff in corporate divisions like senior vice president marketing, finance, materials management and research and development. Then they are also into they have different divisional managers, division A, division B, division C and D, who has again some reporting relationship with the functional managers for each support functions. The functional managers have a coordination with each other. There are various types of divisional units. Advantage of a multi-divisional structure is there is increased organizational effectiveness. As there is clear division of labor between corporates and divisional managers, the corporate managers and divisional managers, they have a clear division of labor, they have clear guidelines, so it increases organizational effectiveness. There is also an increased control. Extra control can encourage the stronger pursuit of internal organizational efficiency by divisional managers. The profitability and growth, when each division is its own profit center, their focus is on improving the products, improving the functionalities of each division. Their focus is on the growth of their own unit. So, individual profitability can be clearly evaluated. Each one of these divisions have become the profit center. Internal labor market, the most able divisional managers are promoted to become corporate managers. What is a multi-divisional structure? Multi-divisional structure in which each division has a different structure. So, the CEO has corporate headquarters staff, senior vice president of marketing, finance, materials management, research and development. They directly oversee the work of general managers, presidents and presidents of the metric structure, the functional structure and product and divisional structure. In a multi-divisional structure where there is a functional group, there is also product division and as well as metric structure. There are different types of structures within a larger structure. So, functional structure like automotive product divisions. There are functional groups which are working towards development of automobiles. Product division structure, personal computer division is an example of product division structure. Metric structure, consumer electronics division is one example. Now, let us discuss about disadvantages of a multi-divisional structure where there are multiple divisions within an organization. Managing the corporate divisional relationship, finding or striking a balance between centralization and decentralization will be a problem. Coordination problem between the divisions itself will be a problem. Divisions start competing for resources. They vie for, because resources are limited, resources whether it is manpower or infrastructure support, technology or finance will be limited. So, coordination problem between divisions remain, divisions start competing for resources and this leads to rivalry and which prevents cooperation. There is intense infighting because the focus of each division, manager in charge of each division would try to improve the performance of their division. Transfer pricing, problems between divisions often revolve around the transfer price, that is the price at which one division sells a product or information about innovation to another division. There is also associated bureaucratic cost. Multi-divisional structures are very expensive to operate. There is also communication problem, like tall hierarchies tend to have communication issues, particularly the distortion of information. Information by the time it reaches the respective divisions many of the specific or important information gets diluted or lost. Product team structure, specialists from the support functions are created that specialize in the need of particular kind of product, focuses on the need of one product or client or a few related products. Each team is a self-contained division which is headed by product or team manager. So, in a product team manager, CEO will have different functions like has a reporting relationship with the vice president of research and development, vice president marketing, manufacturing, then materials management and finance. Each product division has a team of people who are working or employees from the respective divisions like the product development teams, product division, each product division has a team of individuals from research and development, marketing, finance, materials management and manufacturing. They work together for development of each product. So, similarly divisional structure like the geographic structure, when the control problems the companies experience are a function of geography. When the firm is operating in a different geographical region, a geographic divisional structure is mostly appropriate. It allows the organization to adjust to its structure to align its core competence with the need of customers in different geographic regions, allows some functions to be centralized and some functions are decentralized. In a geographic structure, like they are operating in different regions, like we have the one simplest example would be Indian Railways, which is the departmentalization by geography. So, regional operators are there in a southern region, in western region, a southeastern region, eastern region and so on. So, whose focus is there is a centralized control by the central office or the headquarters, but all of them are independently taking decisions. Then further we will move towards the market structure, which is another form of a divisional structure. A market structure aligns functional skills and activities with the needs of different customer group. Each customer group has a different marketing focus and the job of each group is to develop products to suit the needs of its specific customers. Each customer group makes use of centralized support function. Like you have a CEO who is reported by the central support functions of commercial divisions, consumer divisions, government division and corporate division. All these divisions, they report to the CEO. And next we will also discuss on matrix type of structure. What is a matrix structure? Organizational design that groups people and resources in two ways simultaneously, by function and by product. A matrix is a rectangular grid that shows a vertical flow of functional responsibility and a horizontal flow of product responsibility. The members of the team are called two boss employees because there is two reporting relationship. They report to two superiors, the product team manager and the functional manager. The team is the building block and principal coordination and integration mechanism. So, in a matrix type of structure, there are two reporting bosses, one from the functional unit and the other one from the product divisions. So, the employee who is working for one product will be having two reporting bosses. The from the functional unit, say suppose the person is hailing from engineering division, marketing, materials management, purchase department or research and development, the employee would be reporting to the boss directly, and also as he is working for development of the product, say product is a new product, you are working for quality improvement team, you are working for say product A, product B, product C manager. So, the person who is the process owner of that particular product will also be the reporting boss for that employee. What is the advantage of a matrix structure? The use of functional, cross-functional teams reduces functional barriers and subunit orientation, opens communication between functional specialists. The matrix enables an organization to maximize its use of skilled professionals who move from product to product division as needed. The dual functional and product focus promotes concern for both quality and cost. And the disadvantages of matrix structure is it lacks control structure that leads employees to develop stable expectations of one another. There is a lack of clearly defined hierarchy of authority that can lead to conflict between the functional division and the product teams over the use of resources. Then people are likely to experience a vacuum of authority and responsibility. The people then create their own informal organization to provide themselves with some sense of structure and stability. You must have seen, like when there is ambiguity in the reporting relationship or in authority and responsibility, so an informal team which emerges during this period of vacuum. Multi-divisional structure is a structure that provides more integration between corporates and divisional managers and between divisional managers. It makes it easier for top executives from divisions and corporate headquarters to cooperate and jointly coordinate organizational activities. What is multi-divisional metric structure? There are automobile product divisions, personal computer divisions, consumer electronics. Then there are group of people who are belonging to different divisions of marketing, finance, then research and development and materials management. There are multiple divisions which a person would be working. Hybrid structure. Hybrid structure is large complex organizations that have many divisions, make use of many different structures. It's not just one structure, but there are multiple structures. Each product division's manager selects the structure, that is, he can be part of functional, product, geography that best meets the need of their particular environment and strategy. Network type of structures, a cluster of different organizations whose actions are coordinated by contracts and agreements rather than through the formal hierarchy of authority. Very complex as companies form agreements with many suppliers, manufacturers, distributors. Such agreements are necessary as the organization outsources many of the value creation activities involved in production and marketing goods and services. There are certain advantages and disadvantages of network structure which I would like to explain. Certain advantages are, if a network partner can perform a specific functional activity very efficiently, reliably, with a lower cost, production costs are reduced. So, the company can obviously develop a kind of agreement or association. It avoids the high bureaucratic cost of operating a complex organizational structure, allows an organization to act in an organic way or in a very flexible and agile manner. Network partners can be replaced if they do not perform up to the standards. Has a tie up with another organization which has not given much advantage to it, or it could not provide a very good service. So it can so next they can replace that particular organization with a better organization. So if network partners are not functioning effectively, they fail to abide by the promise or the performance standards, they can easily be replaced by the organization. Disadvantages of network structure is a considerable level of mutual adjustment is required to allow the groups to interact so that they can learn from one another and constantly improve the product. There is ability to control a complex value. Creation process is difficult because ability to control a complex value creation process is difficult because managers lack the means to effectively coordinate and motivate the various network partners. There is another form of organizational structure which is called boundaryless organizations, which is composed of people who are connected with each other by network of association or computers, faxes, computer aided design systems and video conferencing. Virtual organizations, the use of outsourcing and development of network organizations are increasingly rapid as organizations recognize the many opportunities they offer due to reduced cost and increased flexibility and agility. There is also e-commerce companies, like the trade that take place between companies and between companies and individual customers using information technology and the advantage of internet, like B2B business, business to business or B2B trades that take place between companies that links and coordinates their value chain. B2B marketplace, industry specific trading network which is connecting buyers and sellers. Business to customers, B2C, trade that takes place between a company and its network of individuals, customers using IT and internet. So, these are some examples. So, what we have discussed today, we have discussed about that how functional structures have moved towards what are the advantages, disadvantages of functional structure, how functional structures over time they change to a complex structure. We have discussed about divisional form of structures like product, geography and market. Further, we also discussed about metrics and product team structures and why and when they are chosen to coordinate organizational activities. We have also identified the properties of network structures and how they are most likely to be selected. I have covered the advantages, disadvantages of product structure, advantages of multiple divisional structure, disadvantages of multi-divisional structure, and divisional structure like market structure, metric structure and its advantages, disadvantages, network structure, then boundaryless organizations and some examples of e-commerce. Thank you.